And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by Kingscast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Korneluk.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
And we are finished with the Media Roundtable, Kalazewski.
Yep, this is the final installment in the Postseason Roundtable. Special thanks to all of our participants and all the viewers. So, hope you enjoyed it.
I'm Dennis Bernstein, I write for the fourth period.
I'm Charles E. Smith Jr. of Inside Sports. Inside Sports was created in 1994. We are changing the world one sport at a time. Find us at officialinsidesports.com.
Gan Matsuda, FrozenRoyalty.net.
I'm Matt Wrights. I'm the editor-in-chief of YouForMySeats.com, and I'm also an NHL writer at Pro Hockey Talk for NBC Sports.
Dave Joseph, morning Sports Center anchor, 710 ESPN Radio, and hockey analyst, ESPNLA.com.
Hey everybody, I'm John Moncrief from Inside Sports, which you can see right here. I'm the creative director and the co-host of, and also I'm the Kings beat writer for Examiner.com.
I'm John Hovind, aka the Mayor from mayorsmanor.com.
Okay. This is the last question.
Go ahead.
This is it. So the Kings made the playoffs 2 years in a row. So obviously, healthy Kopitar might have been a little different outcome. What does this team need to do to be a genuine cup contender?
Or will they be next year?
I can tell you if they will be sitting here today, because this team right here is not the team that's coming to training camp next year. So,
Well, is it going to be one big trade? Are they actually one big player away?
No.
Are they a Richards away or a Zach Parise away from being a championship team?
What two look at boxes? What two boxes? I'm not sure I agree with that. One big player?
A winger and another center.
And another defenseman.
Yeah, another defenseman.
Well, that's three players.
And do they need a goaltender?
I think the goaltending's fine. I think the goaltending situation's completely fine.
Why
I
do
don't
they need
question
another
I don't question
defenseman?
Quick at all. What's that?
Why do they need another defenseman?
I think they've got guys who can play defensive hockey. I think they miss another, as long as you have Jack Johnson putting up the numbers he put up and he's minus 21, I think you need another guy to fill the offensive void. You've got to do more. Doughty's got to have a better year, Johnson's got to have a better year, and you need that other guy. They don't have that other guy, unless it's Martinez. Unless it's Martinez who can step up next year.
Solid rookie season.
He did. He had a great season. I just don't know if he's ready to make that leap yet to be that elite defenseman. I think they need that one more.
So what if Johnson and Doughty go back to what they were doing the year before?
You mean if Doughty goes back to what he's doing before? Because Johnson was the same as he was the year before.
They're in a much better position, and they probably finish a lot better than what they finished.
I don't think the defense is the problem.
Maybe they win
the division.
Yeah, I think that if you look at the division next year, I think you look at, Dallas dead, right? Phoenix, another miracle, it's not going to happen, right? Brizgalov's gone, right? The Ducks, Ludman and Wisnowski, as Dave knows, they were cripples at the end of the season. And Corey Perry's not going to score 20 goals in 20 games to close the season. So I think right now the Kings are safely nestled in the 2 spot. They're going to contend with the Sharks for the division. But, look, Dan Boyle, Game 7 against Detroit. 27 minutes on ice, 2 assists. That's what you got to do. That's what Drew and Jack have to do next year. A guy like that who's won a ring, who is not the best defenseman in the world. He's not the most skilled defenseman, but he's got heart. I was in the room in 2008 when they lost to Anaheim in the first round, and they were a 1 seed and got knocked out by 8. Marlowe didn't care. Nabokov was hiding in the back. Dan Boyle was livid, upset, crying. He wore his heart on his sleeve. That's the type of guy I want on my team. And that's who they have to compete against next year, because San Jose is the benchmark. Probably in the West, but definitely in the division. But I think they're certainly right now, I think if they're a 2 in the division, they're probably a 5 or a 4 in the conference. So, and I just look, and John said it, defense and goaltending, which, other than maybe Vancouver, who would you trade with right now? The goaltender in Detroit isn't better than Jonathan Quick, right? Pecorini, okay. Nashville could be dangerous. But
I'll take the Kings' top 6 defensemen, or their 6 defensemen, against anybody in the West. Which tells me that the defense is fine, in my opinion. And the prospects make it even deeper. Absolutely. Jake Muzzin, come on. Yeah, legit.
Chicago?
What's that?
Chicago?
Yeah. I'll put them against anybody. I will put them against anybody.
I have zero problem with Kings defense. Zero problem. I still think we got to keep Jack Johnson. He will get better. I know.
But are they going to cup contend? Is this a 4-round team? No, it's presently constituted. No way. Are they a conference finalist? geez, if they won game 3, maybe they were.
You know what they lack? They lack, and one name stands out to me, and it's Chris Pronger. They lack, and I'm not saying get Chris Pronger, because he's probably
You mean that
pretty
type?
much done. That type of guy that comes into the locker room afterward when something goes wrong and he says, you know what just happened out there? That's not going to happen again. You know why? Because I'm going to rip your head off. And that's what he says in the locker room. That happens. Name me a guy in this Kings team that does that.
Well,
guys get mad and they go, okay, that's not going to happen again, guys. Pronger goes in your face and says, no way does that happen again. You know why? Because you're going to have to answer to me. That's what happens in that locker room. That's what Chris Pronger does, and that's why every team that Chris Pronger goes to basically wins championships.
Right, Edmonton
Gets to Game
went to the
7 of the
finals.
Stanley Cup,
Philly
whatever it
went to
is.
the finals.
That's what he
And I
does.
won the cup and a half.
Guys are intimidated by him, and the Kings don't have that guy. There's not one guy on that team.
Willie Mitchell is Chris Pronger light. He doesn't.
Light,
I mean,
yes.
he does care, and he will call it like it is. I found him to be the most honest guy in the room this year. He will tell you exactly what is going on with any player.
Scuderi's the same way, but maybe too nice of a guy.
Scuderi's quiet.
Yeah, right. He doesn't jump up and get in your face.
There was
Exactly.
a game
This season, in January, February, when Nashville came in, the Kings were leading, and in the second period, Shea Weber started laying guys out in the slot. Justin Williams buried guys. The game changed right there. And they have to be meaner and nastier this year. And look, as media, they're great guys to talk to in the room. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
But you know, you need that pain in the ass Chris Pronger that won't answer your questions. Right? To make this team that tougher and that better. And yes, they grow as a team and all this other stuff, but you need a guy like that. Yeah, I advocate don't trade for Chris Pronger.
What else is interesting is that you look at who's hardest on Jack Johnson right here, and Dave and I both play hockey, and we're both defensemen, and we're the hardest on Jack Johnson, so.
Dennis, doesn't your point take us all the way back to the very first question about Drew Doughty? You know, you talk about the maturity about Drew Doughty, and I found his confidence during the playoffs to be confusing at times. Going into the playoffs, I thought it was great. He was very confident, and he was selling the belief to other people. But as the series wore on, the confidence almost became arrogance. How can you be this confident? You should be feeling a little more pressure. You know, your back is against the wall, and he was still talking as if they were up 3-1.
Yeah.
So that confidence,
He did.
that
He told-
meanness,
yeah.
that get in your face, that's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
So, Dan, are the Kings Stanley Cup contenders? If not, what are they missing?
They are not Stanley Cup contenders, will not be next year either. They're missing a winger, top 3 winger, and unless Braden Shen can fill the second line center role, a second line center.
John?
I agree with, again, they need more scoring on the offensive side of things. If you look at their goal differential, which is a stat that a lot of us like to look at, they were plus 21, which is good, but you look at the top 3 teams in the league in that stat, Vancouver, Boston, San Jose, 3 of the 4 teams that are in the conference finals. That has to come from the forward position. I know that the defense has to be stronger in terms of goal scoring. Maybe you get more from Doughty next year, but they need somebody like Ann's saying, number 1 left wing, number 2 center. That's going to solve some of those issues. That's where the goal differential will go up. That's going to help them win games easier. That's the other thing, too. Every game they played this year was down to the last freaking second or in overtime or shootout where they needed to. They did not have a breathe easy game all season long. They're too good a team in terms of their talent level where if they can add a couple of parts, they can get some of those games where now their confidence level is a little bit different. Like it was the beginning of the season. The first month of the season, they were as good as any team in the league. And all of a sudden, it just went away. And is that coaching? I don't know. I don't know what that came from, but they have to get back to where they were that first month from a confidence level.
Matt,
Right, if you look at like the free agents this year, and I don't think that, I mean, obviously Brad Richards would be great. But, I mean, you look at a guy, I mean, I think Eric Cole is out there. That would be a nice, bring Eric Stahl with him. Would be even better. But I think that, obviously, you know, we talk about a second line center, and we talk about a sniper, a bona fide Ziggy Palfy creative sniper. That would be great, and I don't know who you get that's a difference maker like that. I think it's more than just a player, though, and this is kind of what scares me from, you know, watching the Kings and dealing with the Kings, is 2 years ago we sit here and it's a young team, and they have to learn how to win. You know, against Vancouver, it was like, this is a necessary step. And after this series, I get the distinct feeling that there was very little growth. If anything, it was a step back from, I want guys that are pissed, they said this, you know, people that are pissed off afterwards. And, you know, there was very little pushback. I always look for pushback in the playoffs where it's like you'll go and you'll see, at the beginning of the series they did it. The Sharks played great in the first period, and Clifford came out and he wasn't going to take it. At the end of the first period, he got into a fight. The bench was going nuts. They played great the rest of the game. They dominated game 2, started out great in game 3. You know, they obviously slipped up the middle of game 3, and I don't care if they won game 5. They didn't recover until the middle of game 6. You know, they didn't have the pushback, and I thought they would have learned that in the Vancouver series. And if they didn't learn it, and they didn't learn it against San Jose, is this the team that will ever learn it? And that's kind of what scares me is, you talk about one thing being fixed in the locker room, they say they have character and integrity and heart. Show me.
Great.
Good point.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
Good stuff.
All right, Kings fans, that will wrap up our second annual Kings Media Roundtable. Awesome stuff.
Oh, great stuff. Great insight into the Kings organization and, looking at the past season and looking towards the future. So thank you so much for watching.
So we're going to be with you all summer long with some nice little goodies. I'm Keith Kordelik.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
And thank you for watching Overtime. Bye, Kingscast. Is this thing on?
That's right. We put together some of the brightest minds covering King hockey. Covering King hockey. Yes.
One more time. Let's actually move on for. I think we have what we need there. Good discussion. Good discussion. Eloquent. He's still knocking out our media roundtable with some of the best people in LA Kings media hockey. I don't know what that even means, but hey.
Viewfrommyseats.com, and I'm also NHL writer. Stop.
The postseason roundtable with some of the brilliant minds of the media.
Here we go, Kingscast 110.
That sucks.
Wait, hold on. The AC's on.
Does that mess up the video?
We're dialed in, baby. We're dialed in.
Dennis made it to your production meeting.
So, hope you enjoyed it.
Enjoy the rest.
Another installment of our postseason roundtable. Yes.
I should just say your
Am
name.
I too white? Is that what it was?
You're too white.
Yeah, I'm really white.